else with it, who knows? But it's very interesting that we are seeing so many Earth changes and so few people are noticing them. They really are. Not a lot of people are looking at this. Too many people are arguing about the shape of the construct, and I really think that the whole idea of the mud flood and this reset and everything that they are doing is far more important than attempting to determine the shape of the prison that we are in. I really do, folks. We really need to see the urgency of the situation that we're facing. We need to put down all of our stuff with each other. We need to stop fighting. We need to withdraw support from this system and turn and face the control mechanism head on. We really do. Because the only way to get out of this mess, folks, is to return to nature. The only way to get out of this mess is to put down the tech. If people aren't prepared to put down the tech, then we're not going to get anywhere. We're really not. The whole thing has been a setup, and if you can really step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes pretty obvious how it's all been done. Even leading us into the cryptocurrencies and stuff. I mean, cryptos could work in a sane world, in a normal world, if everything that we've got here, if this whole society had actually progressed the way we believe it did, and the technology had gone through its natural evolution the way we think it did, and it had all led us to this point where we've now got these independent currencies, crypto could work really well. But you've got to be concerned about the term crypto. The cryptocurrency, the type of currency you take to the grave with you, the type of currency they introduce just before there's another reset. They burn all the knowledge, they digitize all the information, then they introduce the Kindle Reader for you to read it. So they're starting the fire. Then Kindle Reader kind of disappears into the wayside and you start using Amazon Fire. So they're really burning the information. And then we get rid of all our real currency and we turn it into cryptocurrency, the type of currency we take to the crypt with us. And they do like to tell us what they're doing with all these words and titles that they put on things, so you've got to wonder exactly where we're being led, ladies and gentlemen. And for my part, I'm not really wondering that much anymore. I think I can see pretty clearly where we're being led. And I've been able to see it for quite a while, and I've been attempting to alert people to the fact that we are in a state of clear and present danger. And I think it's important that people do pay attention to this. I really do, folks. I mean, I come onto these shows and I tend to be really cool and calm and polite and eloquent and just give you the information in a way that you can comprehend it, in a way that hopefully will empower you. But, I cannot stress the urgency enough. We really are in a state of urgency, and we really do need to put down all of this squabbling, and we need to step back and look at the bigger picture of how we are being set up and where this is ultimately going to lead to if we don't put down all of our stuff, agree to disagree on whatever issue it is that we believe, and turn and face this problem, turn and face this system, and withdraw support from it by giving support to each other. It's imperative that we do this, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. We are being set up, and we have been set up, and it's been such an effective setup that you really have to wonder if we can ever make it out. But I think we can. I can see a light at the end of the tunnel if we would simply pull support from the system. But if we don't pull support from the system, if we agree to blame each other and blame each race and blame each other's belief system and attack anybody who doesn't agree with our belief system, then we're never going to get anywhere. Divide and conquer is the motto, and it is used in every single aspect of our lives. It is used every single day, but it doesn't work if we don't go along with it. If we agree to live our lives in Lakesh, and we agree to disagree on these small issues and realize that what has really happened here is that we have had all the information taken from us so that nobody knows what's going on. And that's why we can fight all day about what we believe and not actually get anywhere, not prove anything, because all we're doing is taking a stance and barking at the people around us to comply with our belief system. And even if they all do comply with our belief system, let's say if everybody in the world suddenly believed the earth is flat, now what? What does it do? What does it achieve? Will you sit there and wait for God to come? Does it mean God exists and now we have to do the right thing? I mean, this is so ridiculous. It's so far from reality. If people need to believe the earth is a certain shape to feel close to God, what is wrong with these people? Honestly. Nothing will change if we do not stop complying with the system, and that will not happen until we can understand what the system is. And the system is this smart grid. It's the tech. It's the cities that we're living in. It's all of this technology that we're using, which is so completely opposite to the technology that we had and to the technology that we should be using. I know there's going to be a whole bunch of flat earthers out there who take that completely the wrong way and think I'm attacking flat earth because they just didn't listen. And there's going to be a whole bunch of globe earthers out there who think that because I'm not attacking the flat earthers, I'm supporting the flat earth, and they just didn't listen. It's the same as if I even suggest that the white people come from Tartaria and that we're being exterminated for a reason. All of this multiculturalism has been brought into white countries to wipe out any trace of this past civilization. And if I even suggest that, then I'm called a racist for doing so. And people cannot see that they've been set up to think this way. The whole slavery system, the whole slavery history that we're given, I even question that, folks. I really do. I think there's a group of parasites that have put this whole system in place, and they've played everybody off against each other, and it's time we put it all down. It all happened in the past, and really when you look at everything that I brought you on the show today, look at the mud flood, look at the foundlings, look at the history, look at the fact that our timeline has been changed, all the stuff that I brought you for so many years on this show, when you really bring it into account and take it into account that you don't know what happened because you don't know what our history is because we've been lied to on every single count, then what is there to feel animosity towards other races about? What is there to hate anybody for? Why would we even blame anybody? Why would we blame the white people for the slavery? Why would we blame any particular race for doing any particular wrong thing when it wasn't the races? It wasn't any race who did anything. It was the psychopaths who run the world who set the whole system up and who played us all off against each other and who took everything we had from us, who brought our ancestors into these countries as children, as slave children, and they worked them to clean up the murder that they had just committed. And we have evolved from that, and we've come to these cities and we've taken them over and turned them into what they are today, thinking that we built it all ourselves, but we didn't. We were put here, and we were put here to do exactly what we're doing now, and we've been set up. The whole thing has been a setup. And I think it's important that people consider this. And I know my words have probably offended a lot of people, but I don't care, folks. I'm sick of people being offended by what I say. I'm sick of people taking things the wrong way. I'm sick of people cherry-picking what I say and taking one sentence and misconstruing it and using it out of context and throwing it back at me. I'm sick of it. If you can't hear what I'm saying, if you don't want to listen to the entire radio show and put it all in context and hear that this is a man speaking from his heart, trying to help this species wake up to themselves, then I don't know what else to do. I really don't. I do what I can. We all do what we can. I'm not some agent. I'm not some devil. I'm not some demon. I'm just a normal person trying to make a difference, the same as everybody else. And you can attack me for my belief systems all you like, but the reality is, folks, that I don't have a belief system. Belief is the enemy of knowledge, and even everything that I've said on the show today, I'm willing to accept the fact that all of it may be completely wrong if I find out something else. I'm quite happy to put it all aside. I'm quite happy to change my opinion on everything tomorrow if more information comes along. And that's just the way I am. This is the quest for knowledge, folks, and ultimately it's a quest for freedom. Because without that, without freedom, there's no point in even being here. There's no point in even being here. And if that isn't the quest of these radio shows, then there's no point in even doing them. Well, we're getting very close to that time again, folks, where it is now the end of the show. Sorry I didn't bring you any radio shows for the last 2 weeks, and if you're wondering why you haven't heard from me much, I've actually been virtually offline for the last 3 weeks. I've been virtually without internet. I actually almost didn't even get to bring you this show again this week. I almost didn't have any type of connection at all, and it's just been an absolute nightmare, to be honest. And that's why some of the editing might be a little bit askew on this show and some of the imagery may be a little bit out because I simply haven't had time to collect the sort of stuff that I really wanted to show you or put the time or effort into the show that I really wanted to do. I've been spending too much time on hold from phone companies and we've just had so many problems here with internet connections and cables failing and all sorts of stuff going wrong, so I just haven't been able to even get online to answer emails or show up at appointments or interviews or any of the stuff that I've been wanting to do in the last 3 weeks. I've just kind of had to put everything on hold and I do apologize for any inconvenience, but I'll try to get back to being a little bit more regular now that I've got a connection again. I guess that's one of the problems that you have by not having a smartphone, folks. If you only use a home internet connection, they can get you that way as well by messing with that connection. Because if I had a smartphone, of course, I could have just got online on my phone at any time, couldn't I? But then I don't have one, so that's just not how it works out for me. But it's, again, it's what they do. They just want to push you into this and make it too inconvenient for you not to have one of these devices. So that's worth paying attention to. They wouldn't be doing this because they really want you to have the tech and they really want you to have all these conveniences. They're doing it because they want you to have the device on you, and there's a reason for that. But anyway, folks, we have pretty well reached the end of the show. Thank you to all the people who send me so many kind emails. Again, I will be speaking at Acapulco this year in February. That's February 14 to February 17. I'm also doing a gig in Coffs Harbour in January. I think the date is January 18, but I will check up on that for you. But it is a speaking event in Coffs Harbour. The name of the event is Illuminate, and I know that is just going to cause so much flack. I wish organisers of these events would think about the titles that they name them, because I know the conspiracy theorists will have a field day with an event called Illuminate, because if it's named Illuminate, oh my God, it must be the Illuminati. It couldn't possibly be just some random person who likes the name and just decided it would be a good thing to use for the event. No, it must be the Illuminati. This is what I hear from everybody, folks. But all I'm really caring about is that it's an event in Coffs Harbour in Australia, and I actually get to speak to some Australian people and deliver the message to them. So I'm going to go and do the event anyway. And I'll put a link to it on my website sometime in the next couple of days, but it's around about mid-January, and I do urge you to come along to that. It's going to be limited seats, I think, folks, probably only about 120 to 150 people, so you might want to get in early. But that's in January 2019 in Coffs Harbour, New South Wales. I'll be doing another smaller event in Byron Bay the following day, but that is going to be very limited attendance because it's part of a larger workshop, but I'll keep you posted on that one as well. And again, I'm speaking at Acapulco in Mexico in February. That's February 14th to February 17th. And these are the only talks that I'm going to be doing in 2019. I really want to put travel on hold, put some effort into the films in 2019, put some effort into my health, and just generally get myself back on track, because I seem to be suffering a little bit of self-neglect at the moment, and I think it's time that I paid attention. No good trying to do this and trying to save the world if I'm killing myself in the process, folks. So perhaps I need to get a little bit of focus and include myself in the picture of things that need curing and things that need healing, not just the world, but also me. But anyway, folks, as I said, that is it for me. I've now completely reached the end of the show. Many thanks to all. Many thanks to my Patreon supporters. Again, I could never do any of this if it wasn't for you. I will look forward to speaking to everybody again next week. Please take very good care until then. In Lakesh.